what I want to tell you first is why you're the music genius. So in college, making friends, talking to people, getting to know people, I happened to tell you that my iPod had like 5,000 songs on it, and I was like, back then, and even now, and I think most people might feel this way, like, the songs that you love or that you collect. Like, it's almost kind of like a sort of like encyclopedia. You're not going to know every single lyric, and you're not going to, be able to like sing or hum every song perfectly, but you know the songs. Like, if you listen to certain songs enough, them, you can kind of recognize them, like the sound, or if you're looking in your library, like there's like a cognitive element of like memory capacity, like just being able to hold some representation of a song, and it's like I can listen to songs from 20 years ago that I just, that I learned and found 20 years ago. And I'm like, okay, that's, that's my shit, that's my song, or that's my band, So I had 5,000 songs in my library. I thought I was like, look, I got 5,000 songs that I know in my dome,
A lot. That's a lot. 5,000 is a lot, bro.
Yeah, but you told me you had like 20,000 or some shit like that. I was like, what the fuck? Like this, you were like, oh yeah, I got 20,000, And see, the thing, I applied the same mindset to you, because like, I was like, look, I know my 5,000 songs. Like, these are my songs. Like, I collected them, I found them, even though it's on the iPod. Like, I had gone through, I downloaded the songs. I maybe didn't listen to every single one or every album, but I had like a sort of mental representation of what this music means to me. And you come out of here talking about 20,000 back then, which is why I was like, damn, bro, like, how can you hold that much music in your head? And I assume for you, it's also like this sort of like encyclopedic thing where the music. Again, you don't know every single song perfectly off memory. Like, you can't just sit here and name song. I mean, maybe you can, I don't know, but presumably for you also, it was like this memory bank of music. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it for me was at the time, especially right at the beginning of college, like after high school, I kind of went from like really listening to a specific genre of music, like not one genre, but it was hip hop, R&B, and jazz from my parents, right? But then after high school, I was listening to everything. And so that really expanded my limits as far as what I was exposed to. And from there, I just really got interested in understanding, okay, like, who is this artist? Where did they get their inspiration from? I put in their album on my iPod and then wanted to figure out, all right, so what does that sound like that I'm aware of? And then really sort of branching out from there, and slowly but surely you make it 20,000. You're like, oh, damn, I know a lot of music. But to your point, a lot of that, not a lot, but some of that was me just like, oh, I found this album, I'm gonna listen to it once. I may not come to it again for, who knows how long, but I know it and I recognize songs from it. Now it's sort of weird. Obviously, we can talk about the whole streaming situation, but things have obviously changed quite drastically since then. But yeah, man, my library, I still, that was a special place in my heart still, going back to my iTunes and checking out all the tracks that I had on there.
Yeah. Yeah, good times, man. We'll definitely get into that conversation in a bit in terms of playlists and AI and streaming and, how that might be changing like our relationship with music, I mean, look, I love it. Like, I could pull up any song whenever with all that good stuff, but I don't have like that. Well, I make a lot of playlists like you do. I make a lot of playlists and I have very complex themes to them, like, like time in life sort of themes or like the actual sound of the music. So I feel as if I'm engaging in that, but that whole library thing, curation thing is like a lost art, man. It's so essential. But I also think it's going to be exceedingly important. I'll tell you why in a second later in this podcast. But